drop spots, pretty much the same. Except the flight
all right,
path
Seal,
didn't
we love
allow
you.
some of those teams to go towards El Pozo. But what a starting circle! Holy moly! All the way down to Los Leones, we are going to see a South Circle. We haven't seen one of those in a little while in competitive play, so I'm excited to watch this, fam.
Yeah, so this type of zone, it kind of shapes up in two different ways, but I'll talk about that here in a little bit. As we see two members of Skull going to be grabbing vehicles, rotating away from Tiki. Doesn't look like anything is going to be happening here, as they're going to be sharing Chumacera. But with this particular zone for phase one, we kind of see it usually shape up in two different ways. It's going to end to the south of Los Leones, in that big area there, just off the coastline, anywhere in there for the most part, or it's going to end to the east of Los Leones, kind of in that big circle of road with the warehouse there and whatnot. Paradox is going to be looting a shack kind of in the middle of nowhere. No real vehicle to his name. As Sociopath, I believe, spotted him out and was throwing some shots over in his direction, so he's going to be coming over trying to pick up this kill. Only a red dot, so it's going to be a little tough at this range, but here comes the Luxor, going to pick up his teammate with the Murado, and then hopefully they should be able to make it out of there.
I'm not sure if Luxor has a gun himself, so if Sociopath can get a knock on one of those players, it's going to be really bad for Hip, but they do manage to get into the Murado. Wow, wait, one of those shots landing from Velocity 9 Sociopath, so Paradox and teammate Luxor are going to be extra pedaling to the metal to get the heck out of there and back to their loot spot, as they currently are also a 3-man, but off in the kill feed, we see Delta takes out Top Dog. A far cry from last game where actually no, it's a similar situation. I believe Delta took out Top Dog last game as well on his rotation. We'll get the flush, and yeah, that's the end of that.
Yeah, so the Boomers here, they are indeed going for kind of a drop that I kind of outlined because I didn't see at the beginning of the game last time, but they got a really big split kind of around the junkyard area, and not letting Top Dog drop in the same compound he did in the first game. And we see there, I believe it was a member of the Drop Shotters, Jason, going out to Sigil, as these two teams are both kind of fighting around the southwestern side of Los Leones. Jake, some good shots on to Hello Uchiha there, as she's going to get some shot. Oh, it's going to be Greg get some shots in return, going to force Jake to get off the top of the silo there, and maybe reposition as White Liquor's coming around as well.
Yeah, Drop Shotters maybe don't need to take that fight this early in the game, so with Camborghini coming in, I see them making a rotation to a new spot in the zone. The fights are probably going to pop off pretty quick with this zone because most of it contains water. So I would consider this almost a phase 2 circle in phase 1.
Yeah, so a lot of water going to be in play here. And for those of you who don't know, as you know, we've been mentioning throughout the night, we got a lot of new viewers here tonight. So water is considered an unplayable area on phases 4, or well, 2 different phases, but the later one doesn't really matter. On phase 4 will always shift away from any land that is considered unplayable. Water is considered unplayable because you can't really play in it. You can swim around. You can swim around in it, but you can't do anything in it.
You can't shoot.
You can't shoot. Can't do anything. So on phase 4, it will shift away from water. There are a couple other areas around the map, big rocks and stuff like that. As we do see Shinobi getting picked off in the kill feed from 605 from somewhere.
That is in El Azahar. Yeah. They had a solo player there on the west side, and all of NS just pushed up the ridge and picked him off while he was solo. The rest of his team nowhere to be found, and so they are going to lose that player. The other 2 members of 605 are to the southeast of Azahar, trying to recoup a little bit and maybe loot up in the church down there before they make their way into the zone. We are going to begin to see a lot of teams make their rotation into the zone. Like I said, not really the ideal circle, especially with this plane path, where a lot of these teams already didn't have the ideal drop spots. But taking a look here at Skull, we can see the effects of that, as Nixie is in a bit of a confrontation with, I believe that's Tumas from the Fools, and has Oldest rotating around, as well as Team Skull is widely split along this western side of the circle. And now Vegas is getting caught in a bit of a fight here with Johnny B and Bantha of Team Nice Try. Vegas goes down to the headshot of Bantha, and here comes Light Show to help out. Bantha goes down, gets traded out, and now Johnny B gets the trade on Light Show, and out goes him as well.
Yeah, so actually a 2v2 fight. Light Show doing a little fancy stuff, switching around the seats of that car, just trying to throw off the angles there coming out from Johnny B. But Johnny B able to connect. He's going to get 2 kills there onto the Fools. He's has a member up at the church throwing shots down at this. So Johnny B, going to lose a tire as well. Should be able to keep driving it forward and regroup with the rest of his teammates who are just in the northwestern side of Los Leones. But that's a very tough early game for both of those two teams, as Johnny B, he's hurt. He's going to be forced. They're going to lose their vehicles. He should be able to make it away. But the Fools are going to be losing too, as Vegas going to bleed out.
Vegas, fam. I wanted to point that out because the rest of Fools are currently in a vehicle heading in his general direction. I don't want to be, the bearer of good news here and jinx it for them, but they are on the way, and Vegas does have 19 seconds left before he goes down and is placing himself in a good spot to cover from Nixie, as here comes Tumas
Smoke is there, as
and Oldless, and they do manage to get the res on Vegas. No kill for the other team, and what a play here from Fools to make sure they have at least 3 up going into this first phase.
Yeah, big brain plays coming out of the Fools there. They threw the smokes as they were pulling up with the vehicle, so that's going to allow them to bloom a little bit sooner. Then they had the other teammate who was not rezzing hold the angle from the church, so that player up there could not push shots. And yeah, they get the res, so the Fools, kind of salvage a little bit, stay 3-man strong, as this vehicle is on fire. He's going to want to probably get out of it here in a second, but for being the Picado team, they're in a very tough situation here in the beginning parts of this game. And, you can credit a little bit of that to kind of the unconventional drops coming around from some of the teams around them. But they are just in a tough time for leaving Picado.
We may have another fight beginning to happen here on the south side of El Azahar, as TTG Leaks has crashed into the position of NS. But now NS actually, instead of continuing to fight this, have opted to grab themselves a vehicles rather, and rotate away. I think they totally could have continued that fight and took out more members of TTG. Think they were just too concerned about the blue, decided to back off and get into the zone. That's the priority here, obviously, to win the game. So those extra couple of kills they weren't concerned about. Zone shift has favored the southeastern side of the map, and you're gonna be feeling pretty good as Boomers Delta has eyes on another member of a different team.
Yeah, Boomers by himself here. He's just, not Boomers, Delta from Boomers is just going to be kind of figuring out what this team is doing in the compound. He split off by himself, and this the 4-year-old goats, they're actually leaving. I believe they're going to regroup at the double warehouses, where Dash is going to be throwing shots at other teams. Velocity 9 as they're making their way by, and this zone shaping up kind of like what I was explaining. It shifted more towards the southeastern part of what's playable land. It's more of an eastern shift for the zone 1 to 2 though. And it looks like it's going to be favoring that big circle of road just to the east of Los Leones. And for a majority of these teams, I'd imagine they kind of have an understanding of the terrain in this area of the map, just because we do over the course of PUBG, we have seen many circles in here. We haven't seen too many, I would say, recently, but it should be a relatively familiar area for most of these teams.
For sure, for sure. And one thing to note, once again, I just want to reiterate, because there is circle prevalent in this zone, the playable area for these teams is going to be much less than what they're used to. Usually the circles on full land, there's ways to come in from every side of the zone. But right now, the southeastern side of the zone, completely impassable. They can't make their way in. Orion's actually going to lose a member of their team. Enland goes down, and Lush trying to make his way over as well. Yeah, Enland flipped his buggy and got completely 4-man sprayed at from the team just up the road. And the rest of Orion trying to make their way in as well, unsuccessfully, might I add, as Lush, the only member to make it to where I believe they called out. They had elusive shooting at him as well as he made his way in. Fools finally make their way into the north side. TTG still trying to find their way in. HIP still trying to find their way in all the way to the to the northeast. Skull completely separated, trying to make their way in, even opting to use the bus. I'm Wick going to be very, very slow, very sluggish as he makes his rotation up that ridge in front of him. It's
Yeah,
not gonna it's not gonna go well for Masti.
yeah, no, a little interesting decision making for the route they're trying to take here. And this is actually something I've talked a lot about. Like teams that on this road going to Leona's, like hardly anybody's ever there. You can just take that road straight into Leona's.
I'm gonna cut you off, fam,
yeah.
because we have a team crash. Fools and NS have crashed each other. Oldest and Vegas on the north side of the road with their teammate Tumos down on the south side are going to be sending the vehicles completely across. Vegas does have the spray, doesn't land all of it, but will get the knock on aggro, making this a 2v1 situation. And out goes Dylan as Oldest, very well played there by Fools, takes out NS. And they were getting shot at by TT as well from the north. Can you just break that down for me there, fam?
No, I really can't, because realistically, the Fools should not have gotten away with both of them coming across in a vehicle with 4 people looking at them. That should not have happened. But hey, they hit the shots while they were in the vehicle on the drive-by, and then we were on Vegas there, and Oldest was the one that picked up, I believe, 2 or 3 of those knocks. But hey, great shots, great play coming out from 2 players who are very strong. So you love to see it.
From what I understand, the other thing that happened as well, they got 2 knocks before they sent it across in the vehicles, and then Oldest managed to pick up the other 2. So that's just that skill gap that you see there. Those 2 are so good at aiming down sights. So it's all it took for them was to just get in the vehicle and send it across. Zone shifted once again, favoring the northeastern side of the previous circle, and it is getting tight. We still have 15 teams up with very little space. Last game with this circle, we had already seen 2 or 3 teams go out. Right now, we've only seen 1. Now, Orion is going to lose another member as Lush was trying to make another daring rotation. This time, Elusive said, not again.
Yeah, you got to scout that dip. That's such a popular dip right there. I know Lush was probably, I think he was in a position up there by the shack where Tazinator kind of is right now to know if someone went down there. And Elusive, the team that just came from the compound right in front of him. So maybe you're just watching other things or didn't realize, or maybe he was just trying to drive by. He didn't think they were right on the west side of that dip. But nonetheless, yeah, Lush, unfortunately, just driving to his death. His 2 team members still going to hang up, not in a terrible position. Yeah, they got a good overwatch on stuff, but eventually they probably are going to have to come down off of that cliff. But Vegas looks like they're driving around in the middle of this field. Oldest is knocked. I believe he is almost in some build. Oh, yeah, they're trying to go for some small shacks there. Smoke is there as Vegas is going to try to get the res on the Oldest in the middle of the field. This is risky, but he might be able to do it.
Yeah, Blissey from Velocity 9 and Sociopath all shooting into the smoke as Vegas does get the res on his teammate Oldest. They're going to be trying to get back on that bike, as I believe the other member of Velocity 9 spots it out, is going to be aiming for the tires of the bike, but Vegas does manage to get on, leaves the teammate of Oldest, and he's left to run on his own through the field once again. Luckily for him, Blissey's not hitting his shots, and he will make it back to the ridge to the north of their last known position. That could have been really bad.
It should have been really bad. Let's be honest. I mean, they're hanging out in no man's land now, but they should be. If there's some bulls there, they can kind of prone it out, and they're gonna have some shots thrown at them. But Jake gonna go for the Kobe nade all the way down to Greg shot. Mike is a little short as it bounces off the top of the gas station there. Greg, I believe, very low though.
Greg shot is definitely
down. Yeah.
He's actually been down from Asti.
Oh, is he?
I use my eyes, but
that is I was drawing a blank. I was just,
You're good. You're good. Greg shot is knocked. He will likely go down in the position he's at right now with the blue encroaching. I believe Jake was just trying to add a little bit of embellishment there, where getting the grenade down to finish him off.
Yeah, go for the
the extra point. Don't want another fool situation where they get the res off. And Sigil, finally do get the kill there on Greg shot. We have another fight happening as Elusive is right next to Fragalicious, and with this zone shrink, Velocity 9 probably feeling pretty good about where they've sent their team.
Yeah, they're sitting very pretty. Some tough buildings to hold, though. They're not necessarily the biggest. They're kind of small. Most of them are just shacks. I think there is 1 2-story inside of this compound that they can play around, but it's the worst 2-story in the game because it has the most windows on it, and it's the smallest. But nonetheless, yeah, they're sitting dead center of the zone. I know Deadbuster is split away on the shack just to their south. So or he's not on a shack, he's just on the ridge. So they have a good spread. It's going to get very congested here on this specific zone. There's going to be a lot of teams that are going to try to scrunch their way in on the edge, as we do see. I
Skull.
believe
It's
it
going
is
to be
Skull,
Skull
yeah,
making their way
late
in right
rotators.
behind Fools, as Fools is sending it in with their vehicle. Skull is going to recognize they see the vehicle there. They don't want to go behind them directly. So they're going to continue down the road along the ridge, and they're going to run right into Divine Misery from TTG. He's going to push out of the building, is going to spray down, get a knock on one of them. Can he get a second one? No, he cannot. But Skull actually going to hop out of their vehicles. Nixie is going to try to respond to the shots of Divine, does get the flush on Grunto, the teammate, and now Mao as well down the road will get the knock on I'm Wick, leaving Skull with 2 members alive. Off in the distance as well, Tiki gets eliminated, and Inixie not looking so hot in the spot he's in. Mao just has to peek over the ridge. Divine prepping a grenade, runs through the smoke, and actually manages to make it across the street, but Mao spots him out and gets the knock there, leaving Aiden, the last member alive of Team Skull.
Yeah, Aiden just needs to turn around and go full snake mode. He's in a part of this part of the map where there's tons of bowls where he can go sit in. If he wants to try to be sneaky and pick one up here, he's going to spot out Mao. But instead, he's going to go ahead and turn around. Yeah, just go snake it out, my man. There's really nothing more that
I
think can
for
do
a
in this
second,
situation.
I thought for a second for sure he was going to try to get that revenge, and I wanted to say, "Oh no, honey, don't do that, don't do that," because for those that are watching that are still amateurs in PUBG, when you lose most of your team and you're the last member of that team alive, trying to get a solo wipe of the team that killed the rest of your team almost never goes your way, just because of the fact that they have the advantage. They know where you are, and so any attempt to fight them is just going to go wrong unless you vastly outskill them. For drop shotters as well, with a solo in that shack, just hiding their way to victory, and Velocity 9 taking some shots over at Fools, who have found themselves buildings for once to hide in and take shots from.
Yeah, those were the ones they were trying to get to earlier whenever they had to res, I believe it was Oldless, and then he got left on the bike. So a little bit of craziness. They eventually get to the 2 buildings where they were wanting to go, as Team Nice Try going to be coming in here right in front of Elusive. Spray the story of Corey, going to put some shots on him, not connect though. And Hyper and T is going to get knocked in return, so it looks like Elusive's going to have a good strong hold on this southwestern side.
Yeah, Johnny B now the last member up of Team Nice Try, just on the other side of the ridge.
And
Team Doc does spot him out, and headshot finishes off Team Nice Try. And yeah, nice try, Team Nice Try. Until next game.
You gotta be careful though. Dark Dreams is gonna be spotting out Elusive as they're pushing up forward. Paginator up close and personal, gonna get some shots in onto Corey, but not gonna get the knock. So now Elusive 4v2 situation, and are gonna regroup and pick this fight as Dark Dreams gets picked out by Innate. So yeah, turning around, probably gonna get another kill here.
Innate up on that off flank does a great job, and now the other three members of Elusive push over the ridge, take out Tazinator, and out goes Orion. That gives Elusive 6 kills so far. They've seen a pretty, dull early game, but coming here into the mid game, they've found themselves quite a bit of action. And off in the distance, Sigil is going to be taking some shots towards Fragalicious, getting a knock on Greta the Goat was Jake. They're not really in a fight, in a close quarters fight just yet, but it's possible number 1 Potato is going to try to flank and secure at least 1 flush, 1 kill here. Taking a look at the map, we do see the circle shrink to the east once again. And we're going to actually throw it over to the comms of Elusive as they're getting pushed now by 4 old goats.
Focus on that.
I'm going to go wide left on warehouses, but I need time.
Warehouse has to push us.
Yeah, they are.
Knocked.
I don't have an angle. I don't have an angle. I'm looking.
Yep. Play slow, Corey. We have plenty of time.
Yeah, I'm nading. I'm just nading.
One's on this left ridge, Innate.
Let's go push him. Come on, Jay. Come on, Jay.
Okay.
Corey, you hold. They're pushing wide.
I'm just taking shots, trying to get some focus. One's already right. One's already right.
I'm shooting that guy.
On orange.
Hit him twice. Close left,
No.
2.
He's lit. He's knocked. He's knocked.
Alright, first
We got time to heal and rest.
Yep.
You can rest.
He got flushed. No res for them.
We want to go north. We want to go like green, I think.
Okay.
I'm going to start getting us some smokes to work with.
One's
You heal
close
up.
to me still.
You can just fight Frank.
Oh, my bad.
Oh.
I'm trolling. I'm trolling.
You gotta go, Blue.
You got this, Jay. You got it.
No, I don't. Bait me if you have to.
He's
I'm
probably
not first
prone
aided.
somewhere.
I still haven't first aided yet. Just bait
Yeah.
me.
Smoking.
You got time to heal, Jay.
Yeah,
I
heal
do
up, heal
now.
up, heal up.
Yeah, I'm healing now.
It could be in the smoke that we just ran past.
Yeah, I know.
You got
Nope.
it. You got it.
All right, I'm with you now.
He's gonna be over one of these bridges then, because he flushed me close.
I'm getting shot from
This
far.
way. Come this way. Come this way. Come this way.
Stuck. I'm stuck.
Done, done.
I'm safe.
No, yep, that's where he was.
Comms.
All right, and that was the comms from Elusive as they were in a fight with 4 old goats, but Innate now snaking it just over the ridge from Frank to Tank. I'm not sure if he spot him there laying down. He did indeed. Shots coming out. Some headshots from Innate actually forced Frank to Tank back, and now he's able to push up a little bit, but Dash switching positions sends Elusive out in 11th place, and off in the distance, we also saw Fragalicious get eliminated as well, which brings us down to our top 10 teams.
Yeah, and that was actually fortunate and unfortunate for the four old goats at the same time, because Sigil actually wiped Fragalicious. Fragalicious was in a very good spot to just shoot all of Elusive and the 4 old goats as they were coming over that ridge on the southwestern side of the zone. But because they were getting wiped by Sigil, unfortunately, they weren't able to do so. So it's just a little bit of bad timing for them. 4 old goats, they do lose 1, but they do pick up the kills onto Sigil, and thankfully for them as well, looks like Sigil is going to be rotating away from them. The Boomers coming in on the north side of the zone, going to be swarming around here as they are the last 4-man team left alive here in this game. Going to be scouting out the warehouse there, see if anybody's coming out. They're going to spot out Velocity 9 as they're hanging out on the edge of the compound and get the flush there. So Velocity 9 slipping up a little bit, going to be losing 1.
Yeah, Velocity 9 was in a great spot in the circle, and with the circle shifting far to the east this time, it's now Fools who find themselves centered, with all of the other teams scrounging for position as a lot of this zone is no man's land. Boomers currently, in my opinion, in the best spot to make something happen as long as they can pick up and clear their edge. And when I refer to clearing your edge, that's a team pushing around, making sure there's no one around them, and if there are, clearing them out or pushing them out, so that way they can maintain zone control, which gives them more of an advantage going into late game.
Yeah, and it's going to be very helpful that both of the 2 teams in front of them are very weak as well. Both of them only having 2 members left to line. But Divine Misery here is going to be playing the snake game, proning it out, spotting out the ridge just in front of 605. Palix just about stepping up close enough to be able to spot him. He's going to turn the switch over to the shack. Great headshot. Going to connect there with the mini, but not going to be able to get the knock. They know people are in the shack though, so they have that in the back of their mind. Shots coming in, they are there, not going to connect. Palix on the 6 HP. Divine Misery going to get the knock onto Nazni, and then it's just going to be Palix down to a 1v1. Both of them medding. This is very close for these 2 players here.
That was a great spray there from Divine Misery to take Nazni down on that left side. Palix prepping her grenade, spots Divine Misery out, and well placed.
Ooh.
Out goes TTG, and Palix says, "No, I don't even want to fight this with guns. I'm just gonna take him out. I have the advantage here." And out he goes with that zone shift once again, hard shifting this time to the south. Team Sigil going to be feeling pretty good, and now Fools are going to be looking to gatekeep Boomers as Spark and Delta are going to be pushing over and get the grenade. And let's go ahead and listen on in to the comms of Boomer as they try to push this shack.
Still watching towards green. 2 on green.
I just got shot at somewhere.
We need to take this.
Yeah, I'm coming with you
Sorry.
guys.
We're coming down.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, we're gonna
Nope.
get third party.
Fuck, I knew it was gonna happen.
Fuck. Delta, we gotta push this third party.
I'm on you. I'm on you. It's just one guy over there. It's just one
I
guy.
got all
at a
this.
peak.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna push ahead. I don't have a helmet. Watch.
On the left,
Alright.
we can get him.
There's 2 over there. There's 2
Yeah,
over
we're
there.
pushing. We're pushing. Oh, in the shack. What the fuck?
I'm pulling off.
One guy.
There's still 2 on the ridge.
Yeah, 2 guys on
Oh
the
my
ridge wrapping
god.
around. Yeah,
Vegas
there's
is
Vegas.
here now. I don't have a helmet. I just got
Comms?
1 shot.
Hardy's reservoir here.
Your reservoir, Hardy? He's not close.
over the
He's
ridge,
at the
he's on the other side
shack
of the
where
ridge.
Oldest died.
I'm resing.
He's right above us. What do you mean? This shack?
Yeah, really
He's right
close.
over the ridge. Yeah, right where we killed Elvis. He's snaking.
I'm gonna stun that shack.
All right, and that was the comms of Boomers, who now have no idea that Vegas is not where he initially was, is now snaking down to the east of his previous position without a helmet. He's just trying to get as many points as he possibly can. He's right behind 605 at the moment, and I believe 605 are now engaging Boomers as they come over the ridge. Angelo Manhardy and Quick Eyes are actually in prime position to start fighting Vegas in his snake, but he might be able to pick up one. Taking a look over here at this other fight, though, 605 and Sigil are going at it. A grenade coming over, and indeed, Vegas does pick off one of the members of Boomers. Out goes Angelo Manhardy, and Delta going to be responding with a flashbang.
Oh, he
Does
got
actually
him.
land true, but they're not going to push off of that, especially with 605 covering that angle just across the way. If they have height, they are going to be spotted. Vegas, I believe, took off
There
his
it goes.
backpack, but Quick Eyes finally spots him, gets the headshot, takes him out. Now Boomer's down to 2 members alive. Once again, we have 5 teams and just 8 players. So
Yeah.
many
Oh my
solos, so
gosh,
many
yeah.
duos.
Yeah, 3 duos and then 2 solos who are just snaking their way out in the field there. The Boomers, unfortunately, losing 2 members to some, just some snakes and some players playing late here. But 605 over here on the east side is going to be in a tough situation as they're potentially going to get a confrontation with Sigil. Jake holding the angle, most likely had an audio cue that I believe it would be Palix, who was the closest to him. Now moving away. Zone closing in. Phase 8, we might see a full Phase 9 ending here for the second game of the night. Jake slowly creeping up. Might spot out Nasny. Man, what a name. What a name.
What a name. I'd also like to point out that Sigil and Boomers currently hold the highest kill points in the lobby so far. Sigil with 8 kills and Boomers with 9. Everyone else has less than 4. So they're currently looking to be the teams that pick up the most points after game number 2. So if you're big fans of them, let's spam some support in the chat. As 605 still holding that same position. Sigil making their way into the zone. 605. They have a bit of a ridge, but up ahead it opens up quite a bit. So they're going to be forced into a fight with Sigil, whether they like it or not. We have to wait and see what they do to prep for that. Boomers on the north side did find their way in. They have a bit of a ridge to hold, so they should be feeling pretty good about this with this next shrink. Deadbuster and Camborghini, both solos out in the field, likely going to be finding each other before anyone else finds them. Now we play the waiting game until the first team makes their move, and just like that, it will be Sigil as they make their sprint towards the shack, closer into the center of the zone, and Boomers throw some nades out. And finally, Jake spots out Camborghini of drop shotters. Out he goes, bringing us down to a total of 4 teams, and Deadbuster slowly crawling through the grass, maybe spotted by Sigil as well. And Nasny, I believe, also went down. I believe, was that shots of Jake or was that to the zone?
I think it was to the zone. I didn't hear
No,
any
but
shots.
either way,
Jake's gonna pick him up either way. Yeah.
And Palix now a solo, so it's going to be a Boomer Sigil fight, in my opinion, with the little pickings of the solos, Palix and Deadbuster. But Deadbuster's prepping a grenade, who actually really well placed, does a lot of damage to Delta as he makes his way into that smoke that has just finished blooming. We now have 1 minute and 45 seconds before this zone completely closes.
Yeah, it's just going to be a slow ending here. Smoke's going to come out. Everybody's going to get a little bit more cover. Deadbuster's getting a little active. Quick Guys just playing it prone in the middle of the field there. Sigil is going to have to leave that little top area where that shack is. Their smokes are coming out. Nades coming out as well from Palix to potentially get a knock onto Jake or White Liquor as they're coming around. They got a great smoke line for them that's going to allow them to take control of the south side. White Liquor throwing some shots at Deadbuster, both of them very low as he's going to go pro and go for a first aid. Jake coming in with the shots that are going to get the elimination onto Velocity 9. Velocity 9 going out in 4th place.
Jake right now doing really good work for his team. They did a bait and switch. Delta goes down as well. Jake with the spam shots. Well played. Now Palix going to be pushing over to try to get some shots down on Quick Eyes. Out he goes as well. And this is a 1v2. Quick Eyes, does he go for the revive or does he try to shoot? No! It's going to be White Liquor from Sigil taking the victory with 13 kills.
Yeah, Two solid games back to back from Sigil. They kind of slow play it all the way up into the mid game, and then they just kind of work their way in on whatever edge they found them in, picking up, what is that, 9, 11, 13? 13 is that? Is my math
I
correct?
believe 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, 13. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So 23 points coming in for game 2 for them after, I believe they had 12 in the first one. So they're going to be sitting pretty on the leaderboard, but they played it very good that game, just cleared their edge all the way in. I think it started with the Fragalicious fight and then just closed it out with the 2 members in the late game.
That's right. We will be hearing from one of the members of Sigil here in just a few moments. But once again, I just want to point that out that Sigil, they had such a good position on that south side. They played it well. They took the fight with Fragalicious when they needed to. I know we didn't get a chance to watch that fight. We were watching that elusive fight just over the ridge. But Sigil, yeah, they cleaned up their edge like I was talking about. When you're a solid team and you need to make your way in, you need to make sure that everyone around you is either getting pushed away or is dead. And that's what they did with Fragalicious, cleared their edge, and they had an easy way into the rest of the zone, played off of that, took some shots. And now we will be hearing from one of the members. We will be hearing from one of the members of Sigil here in just a few moments. But once again, I just want to point that out that Sigil, they had such a good position on that south side. They played it well. They took the fight with Fragalicious when they needed to. I know we didn't get a chance to watch that fight. We were watching that elusive fight just over the ridge. But Sigil, yeah, they cleaned up their edge like I was talking about. When you're a solid team and you need to make your way in, you need to make sure that everyone around you is either getting pushed away or is dead. And that's what they did with Fragalicious, cleared their edge, and they had an easy way into the rest of the zone, played off of that, took some shots. And now we will be hearing from one of the members of Sigil, OwenBear. Thank you for joining us here at the casting desk. How are you feeling about that last game?
Pretty good, boys. That was a good win. Got it down to 2 guys. A little rough. Got a bad knock on me. Should have been alive there, but boys came out with it. So real good playing.
What were the comms like on the team when you were down to 2 members? Was it one of those situations where you and the other team member that were down just shut off your comms entirely, or were you guys working together still to make it into that final zone and then take the victory?
Nah, definitely still working together. We sorry, popping a beer here. Victory beer. Me and Noah Potato, we listened for footsteps and kind of guide the boys into the zone on what they should expect and watch for knocks and whatnot. So yeah, we're still pretty active.
Gaming happening on that team?
I guess a little bit on my part. We're not used to playing with liquor. We actually just dropped our IGL Hyfix. He's probably getting cuts. We brought liquor in, so maybe a little bit for liquor, just kind of getting him worked into the team here a little bit.
Gotcha.
Where's the mighty Lorlax at? Does he not play PUBG anymore or what?
No, he's playing. I think he's just out of town right now. So shout out to him though.
Shout out to Lord.
Gotcha. Since you just kicked your last IGL, does that mean that you are currently IGLing for the team, or is it a drop shot or a situation where you're all kind of pitching in together to take yourselves to victory?
Nah, we're just switching IGLs every game until we get a win. So I guess we're sticking with Potato now.
Throwing him under the bus, huh? Oh man.
And I should say, I mean, Hyfix is still around. I'm just giving him shit. He's still very much in the picture. He's just gone to the wedding right now.
Gotcha. Okay, I don't know the inner workings of Sigil, so hearing that, I was like, oh, that's some content. I like that toxicity.
Sad, man. We're a pretty big name in the community, man.
Hey, if you'd hit me up and play with me and actually talk to me, that would be a story of its own. But speaking of talking, have you ever thought about going into casting yourself, Owen? You guys hear this man's voice?
Yeah, it's pretty sick. I won't lie, but I cuss way too damn much, man. I cuss way too much. I couldn't.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That used to be me as well, but I toned it down. For the casting. Had to create that code switching and a whole new personality for casting. Those who know me know that it's a whole different persona. But yeah, Owen, the next question I wanted to ask as well. I always ask it. The toxic remarks. Do you guys have a rival in this league or lobby? If you do, who is it? And I want to hear as much as you can give me without going rated R.
That's tough. No, not really anybody. We haven't been playing a whole lot, so nothing crazy. We always stay active in beef chat. So I guess
Yeah,
whoever's
that's what
talking, anybody can get it. Anybody. So it doesn't really
Well,
matter.
that leads me to my next thing. It doesn't have to be a team. Is it? You have a player that anyone on your team doesn't really like too much? Because I've played with PUBG players. Everyone's got that one that they like refuse to play with, won't talk to. Well, who is it for Team Sigil?
Oh man.
Yeah,
Oh
I'm
man.
making you.
That's tough. How do you like my mind goes straight to a Nate, but I kind of love that guy at the same time. Like he causes so many problems, like just
Hmm.
ridiculous. But
All
no,
right,
I
well-
guess yeah, I guess I'll go with Zach there.
Would you say that innate then is the bane of elusive's teamwork?
Oof.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it, Owen.
He's trying to
You
dig
just-
it out of you.
Mm. Nah, I'm just
Tell me
kidding. That's
about
my boy. That's my boy. That's
All
my-
right, fine. I can't dig any further. I've reached the granite, the bottom of the well.
Not much
But yeah,
substance here.
Owen, thank you for joining us here at the casting desk. Good luck in game number 3, and maybe we'll hear from you again, especially Potato IGLs.
Hell yeah! Cheers, boys.
All righty, and that is OwenBear from Team Sigil joining us here, and Famosity. That was pretty funny. But I believe we're going to throw it to the leaderboards here really quick. Not sure. I believe they are updated. So let's go ahead and let's go ahead and take a look at the scores as they have updated. Sigil currently sitting in the top spot with 36 points and 21 kills so far. They have boosted their damage and currently holding the top damage at 3,091. And it's 30 kills worth, but only have 21. You know, those kills get stolen all the time. Sometimes you don't get the knock, you don't get the flush, whatever it is, right? Dropshotter is currently holding that second spot with 24 points and 11 kills with 2,000 damage, a whole 1,000 less, but still getting those points. So pretty impressive there from Dropshotters to just make it to the end, pick up those points. And then Boomer sitting in third, 23 points and 13 kills with 3,000 damage done as well. And the surprising one still, 605, the underdog in fourth place with 19 points and 8 kills with 1,200 damage done. So much less than those other teams around them currently, but just can't seem to pick up the kills that are necessary to drive them up to that top spot.
Yeah, notable mention for Sigil. You know, they have 3,000 damage and 21 kills. You know, doing damage without picking up the kills. You know, it happens, whatever. But 21 kills significantly higher than any other team that has is in second for kills. We both have the Boomers at 13 and Orion, so they're fragging doing really good. But yeah, that we'll wrap up game 2 here. We're gonna go ahead and throw it over to a short break. It'll be very, very short as we get ready for the next game. So we'll be right back here shortly with you guys.